You've said the affirmations. You've visualized. You've written your intentions. But somehow life doesn't listen. It feels like your words disappear into silence, like the universe isn't responding. But what if I told you it is? It's just not responding to your words. It's responding to your energy. The universe doesn't speak English. It doesn't speak Spanish. It doesn't even speak your voice. It speaks one language only: frequency. Every emotion you feel, every belief you hold, every thought that carries weight, it all becomes your energetic signature. That signature is the signal the universe reads. You can say, "I'm abundant," 1,000 times, but if your energy vibrates lack, the universe only hears the lack. You can declare, "I'm at peace," but if your body vibrates anxiety, peace can't translate into your reality, because the universe doesn't hear what you say. It feels what you mean. Words are surface. Energy is depth. You can't mask vibration with language. The energy underneath always wins. That's why some people manifest effortlessly, not because they say the right things, but because they're the right frequency. They don't talk about abundance. They embody it. They don't affirm love. They radiate it. They don't chase peace. They rest in it. Energy is honest. It never lies. It doesn't pretend or perform. You can smile and still vibrate fear. You can say, "I'm fine," while your body trembles in resistance. The universe isn't fooled. It reads what's real, because creation begins before words. In the silent vibration that exists inside you, that vibration is your true language. And whether you realize it or not, you're always speaking it. You're speaking energy. When you walk into a room, when you think about someone, when you look in the mirror, you're constantly broadcasting a signal. That tells the universe what to match. And the universe never misunderstands it. It doesn't judge. It doesn't edit. It simply mirrors it back. That's why energy work is not woo-woo. It's physics. It's resonance. It's cause and effect. When you think something, you create an electrical impulse. When you feel something, you charge that impulse with magnetism. Thought plus emotion equals vibration, and that vibration becomes form. That's the invisible mechanism behind manifestation. You don't manifest what you want. You manifest what your field can hold. So, if you want a new reality, you don't need better words. You need a new frequency. Think of a universe like a radio. Your words are the songs you request, but your energy is the station you're tuned to. If you're asking for joy on the frequency of fear, you'll never hear the song. You have to tune your vibration to match what you want to receive. That's why the work isn't external. It's energetic. You can say affirmations all day, but until you believe them, until you feel them in your bones, the frequency stays the same. Words without feeling are empty, but a single emotion aligned with belief can rewrite your entire field. That's why silence can be more powerful than speech, because silence allows energy to move freely. When you stop talking about what you want and start feeling what it's like to already have it, you switch channels. You move from asking to receiving, from hoping to knowing. That's the language the universe understands. So the next time you pray, affirm, or visualize, ask yourself, what am I feeling as I do this? Because that feeling is your true request. If your words say, "I trust," but your energy screams, "I fear," the universe answers the fear. If your mouth says, "I'm ready," but your vibration whispers, "I'm not enough," the universe matches that whisper. That's why so many people get confused. They think their manifestations aren't working, but they are. They're just manifesting what they're actually vibrating. You can't fake energy. You can't manipulate it, but you can shift it. And that shift doesn't happen in your mouth. It happens in your heart. When your feelings, beliefs, and words align, you become magnetic, because now you're coherent. And coherence is creation. The universe doesn't need your perfect sentences. It needs your honest frequency. So stop trying to say the right things. Start being the vibration that speaks louder than words. Because when your energy and your truth become one, you won't need to ask anymore. The universe will already know. If your words don't create reality, and your energy does, then the question becomes, how do you change your energy? Because that's where real manifestation begins. It's not about repeating more affirmations. It's about aligning what you say with what your body believes. Your vibration isn't just thought. It's a harmony between your mind, emotions, and body. And that harmony can only happen when all three speak the same truth. Most people try to change their vibration through the mind. They say the words. They think the thoughts. They visualize the future. But their body still remembers the past. And that's where the disconnect lives. Because your body is an instrument. It doesn't care what you think. It plays what it's been programmed to feel. If your nervous system is tuned to fear, your energy will broadcast fear. Even when your mouth says, I'm safe, if your body holds tension, it's holding the vibration of resistance. So the first step in reprogramming your vibration is not thinking differently, it's feeling differently. You don't fix energy with logic. You shift it with presence. Sit quietly. Breathe deeply. Listen to your body. Every tightness, every discomfort, every flutter in your chest. Is your energy trying to speak? It's not wrong. It's not broken. It's communication. Your emotions are not enemies. They're messengers. They show you exactly where your vibration is asking for attention. Most people resist their emotions. They try to stay positive, which only creates resistance to what's real. But energy doesn't move through suppression. It moves through awareness. The moment you allow an emotion to exist, you begin to free it. When you breathe through fear, you dissolve it. When you witness sadness without judgment, you lift it. That's emotional alchemy, the art of turning resistance into power. To reprogram your vibration, you have to stop fighting what you feel and start listening to it. Because every emotion is a vibration asking to be felt, so it can transform. You don't need to replace fear with love. You need to bring love into fear. You don't need to kill your doubts. You need to hold them with awareness until they soften into trust. That's how the frequency changes. Not by force, but by compassion. Your energy field is alive. It's responsive. It learns from how you treat yourself. When you're harsh with your emotions, your energy contracts. When you're gentle with them, your energy expands. That's why love isn't just a feeling. It's a frequency reset. Every time you choose gentleness over resistance, you raise your vibration instantly. You can't hate yourself into alignment. You can only love yourself there. The second step in reprogramming your vibration is embodiment. Once you allow the emotion, you must teach your body a new pattern of safety. Because your body trusts repetition, not words. If you wake up every day and live the same emotional cycle, you keep telling your nervous system, this is who I am. But if, even for one moment a day, you breathe, stand tall, smile, and feel gratitude, you send a new signal. And that signal says, I am safe in peace. I am open to abundance. I am ready to receive. That's how you begin to reprogram the field. One emotion, one breath, one conscious choice at a time. The third step is consistency. Your vibration isn't changed by one breakthrough. It's changed by what you practice daily. Every time you return to peace, instead of reacting to fear, you rewrite your energetic code. Every time you choose gratitude, instead of doubt, you strengthen that new frequency. Every time you forgive, instead of hold on, you open your field to receive again. That's energetic reprogramming. Repetition of love instead of repetition of fear. This is why meditation works. It's not about emptying your mind. It's about recalibrating your frequency. When you close your eyes, breathe deeply, and feel the present moment, you tune into the only place where energy can actually shift. Now, you can't change your vibration in the future. You can't fix it in the past. It only transforms here, in this breath, in this awareness. That's why the present moment is sacred. It's the control room of creation. When you make peace your priority, your energy begins to stabilize. When you make gratitude your baseline, your frequency expands. When you make awareness your practice, your manifestations accelerate because the universe doesn't need you to be perfect. It needs you to be present. Present enough to notice what you're feeling, honest enough to admit it, loving enough to release it. That's how you speak to the universe. Through coherence. When your thoughts, feelings, and actions move as one, the signal becomes unstoppable. You are not trying to convince the universe. You are training your vibration to trust itself again. You're teaching your field to believe that safety exists in the unknown, that love exists even in silence, and that abundance is your natural state. You're not trying to attract anything. You're returning to the frequency where everything is already available. That's the real meaning of reprogramming your vibration, remembering the sound of your true energy. When you begin to live from the vibration you've reprogrammed, you step into a new reality, not by effort, but by resonance. This is what I call the magnetic state. It's not something you create. It's something you allow, because the truth is, you are always magnetic. You just forgot how it feels to flow instead of force. The magnetic state begins with alignment. Not the alignment of your goals, but the alignment of your energy. When your thoughts, feelings, and actions move in the same direction, you stop sending mixed signals to the universe. You become clear, and clarity is magnetic, because when your energy is clear, the universe doesn't hesitate. It responds instantly. You probably noticed this before. When you're relaxed, grateful, and full of love, things seem to unfold effortlessly. The right people show up. The right opportunities appear. Synchronicities multiply. That's not coincidence. That's resonance. Your energy becomes a beacon, a silent frequency that calls in everything that matches your vibration. You're not chasing. You're allowing. You're not searching. You're remembering. That's the essence of magnetism, allowing energy to move through you instead of trying to control it. You can't attract abundance by obsessing over it. You attract it by vibrating abundance. You can't attract love by searching desperately for it. You attract it by feeling love within yourself first, because the energy you offer is the energy that returns. The magnetic state is effortless because it's honest. You're no longer pretending to be abundant. You are abundant. You're no longer asking for love. You are love. You're no longer fighting for peace. You are peace. And when that vibration stabilizes, reality has no choice but to match it. The secret of magnetism isn't in doing more. It's in being less conflicted. Every time you release resistance, you increase your magnetic field. Because resistance creates static. It scrambles your signal. But when you live from acceptance, the signal becomes pure. And a pure signal is irresistible to the universe. That's why letting go isn't weakness. It's power. It's what clears your energy. So the magnetic field can do its work. You become magnetic when you stop worrying about how. Because how is control, and control is resistance. The magnetic state doesn't plan outcomes. It aligns energy. It trusts timing. It flows. You don't need to force open doors. You just need to hold the vibration of the reality that already exists, because what you desire is not in the future. It's in frequency. And once your energy matches it, it has to appear. You've been told to work hard, to push, to strive, to earn. But energy doesn't understand struggle. It understands coherence. When you relax into the feeling of already being supported, the universe rearranges itself to prove you right. Because the magnetic state isn't lazy. It's aligned. It doesn't chase outcomes. It allows flow. And that flow brings you exactly what you're ready to hold. Magnetism is the art of allowing energy to find its natural path. You don't need to push the river. You just need to stop standing in its way. When you live in trust, you vibrate peace. When you vibrate peace, you become safe to receive. And when you become safe to receive, the universe floods you with everything you once thought you had to chase. This is how manifestation truly works, not through force, but through frequency integrity. When your inner world becomes stable, the outer world harmonizes. You no longer need to make things happen. You simply allow them to unfold in the perfect way, at the perfect time. Because the magnetic state is patient. It doesn't rush. It doesn't fear delay. It knows that everything is always on time. For the vibration that calls it in, the more you live as this energy, the more effortless life becomes. Your relationships deepen. Opportunities flow. You start to feel guided rather than lost. Not because life suddenly got easier, but because your vibration stopped resisting it. You stopped broadcasting chaos. You started radiating coherence. And coherence is the most powerful signal in the universe. It pulls everything into order. So breathe, relax your shoulders, trust your timing. You are magnetic when you are at peace. Every time you let go of trying, you invite flow. Every time you choose gratitude, you multiply abundance. Every time you choose presence, you become unstoppable. Because the magnetic state isn't something you achieve, it's something you remember. You were born magnetic. You just learn fear. You learn control. You learn to force. But beneath all that, your natural state is attraction. Your essence is alignment. Your heart is the purest magnet of all. When you live from that heart, you stop asking, how do I manifest? And start living the answer. You become the frequency that everything you want is already tuned to. And when you hold that energy, the universe can only respond. Welcome back. You finally remembered. At some point, words become unnecessary. Because when your energy speaks clearly, silence says everything. You stop needing to ask. You stop needing to explain. You stop needing to convince the universe of what you deserve. Because you finally know that knowing, that quiet certainty, is the highest frequency there is. The silent language of a universe is not spoken through sentences, but through state. It's not the sound of your voice. It's the rhythm of your heart. The universe feels you. It doesn't analyze you. It vibrates with you. Every time you trust, you're speaking. Every time you breathe deeply, you're speaking. Every time you forgive, you're speaking. That's the conversation happening beyond words. The moment you reach inner coherence, you realize communication with the universe was never about asking for anything. It was about being something, being the peace you seek, being the abundance you desire, being the love you crave. Because when you become the energy of what you want, you don't have to call it in. It recognizes you. Everything you desire is already fluent in your vibration. You see, manifestation is not about convincing reality. It's about remembering how to listen. Listen to your emotions. They're not random. They're guidance. Listen to the silence. It's not absence. It's alignment. Listen to your body. It's not the enemy. It's the instrument your soul uses to speak. Every vibration inside you is part of a greater conversation between you and everything that exists. The more you listen, the more fluent you become. You begin to notice how the universe responds in the smallest moments. A coincidence, a gentle delay, a feeling that tells you to pause. That's the language of energy. Subtle, patient, precise. It doesn't shout. It whispers, and only a quiet heart can hear it. You realize that silence was never empty. It was full of information, full of guidance, full of love. It wasn't the universe ignoring you. It was a universe waiting for you to calm enough to hear its answer, because it never stopped speaking. You just stopped listening. And now that you remember how to listen, you start to see signs everywhere. The song that plays at the perfect moment. The word someone says that feels like it was meant for you. The door that closes, not as rejection, but redirection. That's the language of alignment. When you live in that awareness, life stops being something to control and becomes something to communicate with. You wake up and realize you're not separate from creation. You are creation. Your thoughts are energy. Your emotions are energy. Your presence is energy. Everything you do sends ripples into the field. Every heartbeat is a signal. Every act of kindness is a prayer. And the universe answers every one of them through vibration, not through words. You begin to trust the pauses. You stop fearing the quiet spaces because you understand now that's where alignment lives. It's not in the noise of how or when. It's in the silence of I am. That's the moment the universe moves. Not because you asked, but because you became still enough to let it. When you reach that place, you no longer feel the need to control your path. You become one with it. You stop seeking signs, because every moment is a sign. You stop trying to force outcomes, because you trust that all energy is returning home to you in divine timing. You walk slower. You speak softer. You love deeper, because your energy finally remembers what peace feels like, and that peace is magnetic. It attracts, it heals, it creates. That's why silence is not empty. It's creative. It's where all new realities begin, before the words, before the actions, before the manifestation. Silence is the womb of the universe, and when you rest inside it, you become one with its rhythm. The more you live in that vibration, the less you need to do, because your being becomes enough. You understand now that prayer isn't asking. It's alignment. Meditation isn't escape. It's connection. Manifestation isn't magic. It's remembering. You are not separate from the source. You are the source, speaking to itself through vibration. So the next time you want to ask the universe for something, pause, breathe, and instead of saying the words, feel the energy, because the universe doesn't need to hear you say it. It already feels it. It already knows. The conversation is already happening in every heartbeat, every thought, every breath. And when you become aware of that, you finally understand. You were never waiting for the universe to respond. You were waiting to recognize that it always has.